Hello, and welcome back to Talk About It in English. If you are here, it means you are ready to stop just studying grammar and start actually speaking about your life. Today, we are tackling one of the biggest problems that stops English learners from making friends and feeling confident. It is something I call the robot trap. You know the feeling. You spend hours studying, you watch videos with hundreds of questions, you know all the vocabulary. But then a native speaker asks you a simple question like, "How was your weekend?" And you freeze. You just say, "Good," or maybe "Fine." And then silence. An awkward, heavy silence. The conversation dies right there.
I know that feeling exactly. It is the worst. You feel like you failed. Even though your grammar was technically correct, you answered the question, you said good, but the other person looks uncomfortable or they just walk away. It makes you feel like your English is not good enough, even though you understood everything they said.
Exactly, Mark. And here is the secret that textbooks do not tell you. The problem is not your vocabulary. The problem is not your accent. The problem is that a one-word answer, like yes, no, or good, sounds like you want the conversation to end. To a native speaker, a short answer sounds like a stop sign. It sounds like you are saying, "Please go away, I do not want to talk to you."
That is definitely not what I want to say. I want to talk. I want to practice. So how do we fix this? How do we stop sounding like robots and start sounding like real people?
The solution is surprisingly simple. You do not need to learn complex sentence structures or fancy idioms today. You just need one simple mathematical formula. We call it the +1 method. It is the key to natural fluency. The rule is very simple. Whenever someone asks you a question, you must give the answer plus one detail. Always. Answer +1.
Answer +1. That sounds easy enough to remember. But what kind of detail should I add? Sometimes my mind goes blank and I can't think of anything interesting to say.
That is the beauty of this method, Mark. You do not need to be interesting, you do not need to tell a funny story or have a philosopher's opinion. You just need a tiny piece of information to keep the connection alive. We are going to break this down into 3 easy categories today. If you master these 3 types of +1s, you will never be stuck in silence again. We are going to practice adding a time or place, adding a reason, and adding a feeling. By the end of this episode, you will be able to take any boring question and turn it into a real conversation.
I am ready. Let's start with the first one. You said time or place. How does that work?
This is the easiest one to start with because it is factual. You do not need to have an opinion. You just say when or where the action happened. Let's imagine a very common situation. You are at work or maybe waiting for a bus, and someone asks you, "Did you watch the game last night?" A robot would say, "Yes," and the conversation ends. But using the +1 method, you say, "Yes," plus you add where you watched it or who you watched it with.
Okay, let me try. If someone asks, "Did you watch the game?" I could say, "Yes, I watched it at home."
That is better. It is already softer. But let's try to be even more specific with the place. Try saying, "Yes, I watched it at a bar with my friends."
Yes, I watched it at a bar with my friends.
Perfect. Do you hear the difference? When you say yes, the other person has nothing to say next. But when you say, "I watched it at a bar with friends," you have given them hooks. They can ask, "Which bar?" or "Are your friends fans too?" You have opened the door for more English. Let's try another one. Imagine someone asks, "Do you usually eat lunch here?"
Okay, the robot answer is just yes. The +1 answer with a time detail would be, "Yes, I usually come here at 12:30.
Excellent. You added a time. I usually come here at 12:30. Now the other person knows your schedule. They might say, "Oh, I usually come later." Suddenly, you are comparing schedules. You are having a real interaction. Let's practice this together. I will ask you a question, Mark, and I want you to give me an answer plus a place detail. Are you ready?
I am ready. Ask me.
Do you like to study English?
Yes, I study at the library near my house.
Fantastic. You did not just say yes. You told me where. At the library near my house. Now I can ask you about the library. Let's try another one. Did you buy any new clothes recently?
Yes, I bought a new jacket at the mall downtown.
Perfect. at the mall downtown. Listeners, I want you to try this now. I am going to ask you a question. Do not just say yes or no. I want you to answer out loud right now and add a place. Where do you do it? Here is the question. Do you drink coffee?
Give them a second to think, Sarah.
Okay, say your answer. Did you say something like, yes, I drink it at my office? Or, yes, I drink it in my kitchen every morning? If you did, congratulations! You are using the +1 method. You are already sounding less like a robot.
It feels much more natural, Sarah. It takes the pressure off. I do not have to think of a clever answer. I just have to say where I am. But what about the second category? You mentioned adding a reason.
Yes, adding a reason is powerful, especially when the answer is no. In English culture, answering a question with just the word no can sound very aggressive. It can sound rude. If I ask, do you like spicy food? And you just say, no, I feel like I annoyed you.
I have definitely done that before. I thought I was just being honest. I did not mean to be rude. So if I want to be polite, I should use the +1 reason?
Exactly. You need to use the magic word because. You answer the question, and then you add a tiny explanation. It does not have to be a long story, just a simple cause. So, Mark, do you like spicy food?
No, I don't, because it makes my stomach hurt.
See, that changes everything. Now I feel sympathy for you. I don't think you are rude. I think you have a sensitive stomach. We are connecting. Let's try a positive one. Mark, do you like living in this city?
Yes, I do, because there are so many parks.
Beautiful. You added the reason, because there are so many parks. Now, if I am the other person in this conversation, I can say, oh, I love the parks too. Which one is your favorite? The conversation flows like a river. If you had just said yes, we would be standing there staring at each other.
This really helps with the small talk questions that usually trip me up. Like when people ask about my job, that is always tricky.
That is a great example. Do you like your job? Is a very common question. A learner often says, yes, it is good. That is a dead end. Mark, try to answer, do you like your job with a +1 reason.
Okay, yes, I like my job because I get to meet new people every day.
Excellent, because I get to meet new people. Listeners, it is your turn again. I want you to practice the reason. I am going to ask you a question. You answer yes or no, and then use the word because to give me one detail. Here is the question. Do you like waking up early?
This is a hard one for me. I definitely have a strong answer here.
Go ahead, Mark. Show them how it is done while they think.
No, I hate waking up early because I am much more productive at night.
Great answer. You gave us a glimpse into your personality. Listeners, did you say your reason? Maybe you said, yes, because I like to see the sunrise. Or, no, because I work late. Whatever your reason is, saying it out loud makes you sound fluent. It bridges the gap between a student and a speaker.
Sarah, I have a question. What if I give a reason, but my grammar is wrong? What if I use the wrong verb tense after because? Will that ruin the conversation?
That is such an important question, Mark, and the answer is absolutely not. Connection is more important than perfection. If you say, I like my job because meeting people instead of because I meet people, it does not matter. The other person understands you. They are happy you are sharing information. They are not grading your grammar test. They are trying to get to know you. So please, do not let the fear of grammar stop you from adding your +1.
That is a relief. So we have time and place, and we have reason. What is the third category?
The third category is feeling. This is where you describe your experience. This is perfect for questions about the past, like, how was your weekend? Or, how was your holiday? Instead of just giving the answer, you add an adjective or a feeling about it.
So instead of just saying, it was good, I add how I felt about it?
Right. Good is the enemy of conversation. Good is boring. We want to be a little more descriptive. You can say, it was good, it was really relaxing. Or, it was good, but it was very busy.
I see. So the formula is answer plus adjective.
Yes, let's try the weekend question. Mark, how was your weekend?
It was great. It was really productive. I cleaned my whole house.
Wonderful. You said productive. That is a great word. It tells me you achieved something. If you just said, it was good, I would not know if you slept all day or climbed a mountain. Productive paints a picture. Let's try a negative one. Sometimes life isn't good. Mark, how was your drive to work today?
It was terrible. It was so stressful. The traffic was not moving at all.
Stressful. That is the +1 feeling. You answered the question, it was terrible, and you added the feeling, stressful. This invites me to say, oh, poor you. I hate traffic. Now we are bonding over a shared problem. This is how friendships start. You cannot make friends if you only say, it was bad. You make friends when you say, it was stressful or it was tiring.
Okay, I want to try one that always happens on Mondays. People always ask, did you have a good time at the party or whatever event happened?
Okay, let's role play that. I am your coworker. Hey, Mark, I saw you went to that concert. Was it good?
It was amazing. I felt so energized by the music.
Wow, energized. That is a high-level +1. You are describing an internal state. Listeners, I want you to try this feeling category. I am going to ask you about your last meal. How was your dinner last night? I want you to answer and then add a descriptive word. Was it spicy? Was it delicious? Was it boring? Was it salty? Go ahead, answer me now. How was your dinner?
I hope they are not saying it was fine.
I hope not. If you said it was delicious, it was really spicy, then you win. You are using the +1 method. You see, this does not require you to study for years. You probably already know words like spicy, busy, tired, happy, boring. You just need to remember to actually use them immediately after your main answer.
So, to recap, if someone asks me a question, I have 3 options to keep the conversation going. I can add a time or place, I can add a reason using because, or I can add a feeling using an adjective.
Exactly. And you can mix and match them. You do not have to stick to just one. The goal is simply to avoid the one-word answer. Anything you add is better than silence. But Mark, there is one specific trap I want to warn our listeners about. It is the I don't know trap.
Oh, the I don't know trap. I fall into this one too. Someone asks me a question, maybe something difficult like, what do you think about the economy? And I truly do not know. So I just say, I don't know. And then silence.
Right. I don't know is a conversation killer, just like yes or no. But sometimes you genuinely do not have an answer. In this case, you still need a +1. You need an I don't know plus.
What can you add to I don't know?
You can add what you guess, or you can add why you don't know. For example, if I ask, what time does the movie start? And you do not know, do not just shrug your shoulders. Say, I don't know, but I think it is around 8 p.m.
Ah, so I add a guess. I don't know, but I think.
Yes. Or you can add a plan to find out. I don't know, let me check my phone. That is a +1 action.
That is much more helpful. It shows I am trying to help, not just giving up.
Exactly. Or if it is an opinion question, like which restaurant is better, you can say, I don't know, I haven't tried that one yet. You are adding the reason for your ignorance. It keeps you in the conversation.
This all seems so practical. I can see myself using this immediately. But Sarah, what if I forget? What if I slip up and say yes and then stop? Is it too late to fix it?
It is never too late. This is a great tip. If you catch yourself giving a short answer and you see that awkward look on the other person's face, you can just jump back in. It is okay to pause for a second and then add your +1. Imagine this. I ask, did you go out? You say, yes. Then silence. You realize your mistake. You can just say, oh, we went to the park. You can add the +1 late. It is better late than never.
That takes the pressure off. I do not have to be perfect instantly. I can correct myself.
Absolutely. The goal of this channel is to help you talk about real life. In real life, people pause, people correct themselves. That is natural. What is unnatural is sounding like a machine that only outputs yes or no.
I feel like I have a toolkit now. Before this video, I felt like I was going into battle with no weapons. Now I have the time or place tool, the because tool, and the feeling tool.
That is a great way to think about it. And the best part is, the more you use these tools, the more the other person will talk. When you give details, you make the other person comfortable. They will ask you follow-up questions. And guess what? That means you get to practice listening and you get to practice speaking more. It creates a positive cycle.
So, what is the homework? I know you always have a challenge for us.
Yes, I have a challenge for everyone listening. It is the 7-day +1 challenge. For the next week, every single time someone asks you a question, whether it's in English or even in your native language, I want you to force yourself to add one detail. Do not allow yourself to give a one-word answer.
Even in my native language?
Yes, even in your native language, because this is a communication habit, not just an English rule. If you practice being a better conversationalist in your own language, it will transfer to English naturally. You need to train your brain to reject the short answer.
That makes sense. If I am robotic in my own language, I would definitely be robotic in English.
Exactly. So start small. If your partner asks, "Are you hungry?" do not say yes. Say, "Yes, I am really hungry for pizza." If your boss asks, "Is the report done?" do not say no. Say, "No, because I am waiting for the data." Make it a game. See how many +1s you can collect in a day.
I am going to try this. I think the hardest part will be remembering to do it when I'm tired.
That is true. When we are tired, our brain wants to be lazy. It wants to use the easiest path, which is yes or no. But if you push through that lazy feeling, you will see a massive change in how people react to you. People will think your English has improved overnight. They will say, "Wow, Mark is speaking so fluently now." But really, you just learned to add a detail.
That is a huge motivation. I want people to think my English is better, even if I haven't memorized the entire dictionary yet.
You definitely do not need the whole dictionary. You just need to use what you have more effectively.
Sarah, let's do one final rapid-fire round before we go, just to get the rhythm into our listeners' ears. Mix them up. Ask me anything.
Okay, challenge accepted. Mark, do you have any plans for the summer?
Not yet, because I am saving money for a car.
Nice. +1 reason. Mark, did you see the news this morning?
No, I didn't. I woke up too late.
Good. +1 reason/time mix. Mark, do you like this coffee shop?
Yes, it's great. It has a really cozy atmosphere.
Lovely. +1 feeling. Mark, are you going to the gym later?
Yes, I am going at 6 p.m. with my brother.
Perfect. +1 time and person. You see how easy that was? It wasn't stressful, was it?
No, it actually felt like a real chat. I didn't feel like I was taking a test.
That is the feeling we want. If you are listening to this and you found yourself answering Mark's questions in your head, you are already making progress.
And if you found this helpful, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are building a whole library of these kinds of topics. How to talk about your job, your health, your money, all using real, natural English like we did today.
Yes, subscribing helps us know that you want more of this content. And if you want to take the first step of your 7-day challenge right now, here is what I want you to do. Go to the comments section below. I want you to answer this question. How are you today? But you are not allowed to say "I'm fine" or "I'm good." You must use the +1 method. Tell me how you are, plus a reason or a feeling, or a detail about what you are doing.
I cannot wait to read them. I bet we will see some really interesting answers. I am tired because my baby didn't sleep. I am happy because I am eating ice cream.
Exactly. Real life is messy and interesting. Fine is boring. Give us the real life. Write your comment and read the other comments to see how other learners are using the method. It is a great way to learn new adjectives and sentence patterns from each other.
This has been a great session. I feel like I finally have a strategy to handle those 999 questions I practiced last week.
I am so glad to hear that, Mark. Remember, English is not just a subject you study in a book. It is a tool you use to connect with human beings. Every time you open your mouth, you have a choice. You can close the door with a one-word answer, or you can open the door with a +1. Choose to open the door.
We will see you in the next video where we will talk about how to handle questions about your job without sounding like you're reading a resume.
That is a good one. Until then, keep talking, keep practicing, and don't forget your +1. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.